Patchnotes with Sergeant Slack. Good evening, Interworld. Sergeant Slack here from Banana Bomb Productions. We're back in World of Warcraft on my Warrior Sesquipedal for this, the patch notes for patch 5.4.7, which also means... Oh, where's my... Oh, hang on, wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. It's here. Also means... the start of PvP Season 15. Which means all new gear and all no good kind of things. But we'll get to that in time. Let's quickly run down the patch notes. So, the class changes. Druids, talents. Heart of the Wild now provides the following benefits from PvP power when activated. Restoration Druids now receive 50% of their PvP power applied towards damage while the ability is active, down from 100%. So that's not as effective by about as half. Feral and Balanced Druids now receive 100% of their PvP power applied towards healing when the ability is active, down from 120%. So kind of useful, kind of not, because they've nerfed it a little bit. So Heart of the Wild, not as strong as it used to be, but still pretty damn good. Warrior, Disrupting Shout and Pummel now share a 15-second cooldown when either ability is used. So where are we? Pummel. Melee range, instant, 15-second cooldown. Disrupting Shout, 40-second cooldown. The difference is now, if I pummel, I now have to wait 15 seconds before I can use Disrupting Shout. It's a way to avoid us being able to shut down casters, so I'm not really a fan of that. If you're going to have two abilities that can erupt, you want to be able to use them one after another. I realise that other characters that only have one interrupt can't do that, but that should be one of the benefits of playing a warrior. There's smeg all we can do around casters at the moment anyway, if they can root us and keep us in place. So if we can't even interrupt them when they're near, I'm not a fan of it, and rubbish, that's what I say. Now, moving on to creatures, the Celestials now drop Season 15 Prideful Gladiator gear in place of Season 14 Grievous Gladiator gear. This is just the conquest point stuff been adjusted for that. The rare spawns in Krasarang Wilds now only award honor points once per day. The first time they're defeated per day. So this sucks basically, because I've been using those guys to farm up gear on my druid, and it has been the most efficient way to do it. Especially Miss Slack started playing again. She's on a different server to me. We server hop between the two, and you pile up quite a few of them. You pile up quite a few indeed. When we're lucky enough to have both servers up, let's see, what is it? You get 275 for each guy, and there's 3 guys. So that's 825 honor. So if you can do it on 2 servers, that's 1650 honor, 1650 honor, which is almost a piece. That's like a ring, that's like boots or braces or something. That is not to be sniffed at, but now you can only do that once a day. So I was able to outfit myself relatively quickly by doing this. And so, this begs the question. So what's the quickest way to get honor points now, Slack? The quickest and most reliable way to get honor points now in World of Warcraft, the PvP currency, is by running dungeons. That's right, you heard correctly, it's by running dungeons. Doing a random heroic nets you justice points. Justice points can be converted at a rate of 50% loss to honor points. So for 500 justice points, you get 250 honor points. This is still quicker than running battlegrounds with an unknown team. If you lose, then you get hardly any honor. If you win, then you still get hardly any honor. So you literally cannot win with battlegrounds. If you want to gear for battlegrounds, go and do some dungeons. What? That doesn't make any freaking sense. And that's not on. That's not correct. That's just wrong. It shouldn't be that way, Blizzard, and I don't know why it is. I don't know why you consistently keep it that way. Reward people for doing what they're doing. If they want to play PvP, then let them play PvP. Don't make it easier to gear in dungeons. That's just stupid. Oh, feels good to get that out of my system. So moving on. NPC guards around PvP vendors on Serpent's Spine have been upgraded to have more health and deal more damage, again to account for the better gear. So, raids, dungeons and scenarios. Siege of Orgrimmar. Garrosh and minions of Usage have now less health on 10-player heroic difficulty. So, it's easier to kill Garrosh on 10-player heroic because there's less stuff. So, PvP Season 15 has begun. With the start of the new season, prideful gladiator gear and weapons are now available for purchase. If we come in here, we're at Serpent Spine, just out in Townlong Steps, where the PvP vendor is. Doris Chiltonius now sells Season 15 Prideful Gladiators gear, which is nice. It looks a little bit like this. Just click all the red things. It looks just like that, ever so slightly bluey, whereas the old Conquest Point stuff was all nice and greeny. The old Conquest Point gear is now available from the Honor Quartermaster Lochnar Bloodfist, who sells the old stuff. It's exactly the same, except the only difference is it says Season 15 instead of Season 14. It's all 522, it's all got the same stats, it's all good. So they're available for honor points now. Base resilience for level 90 players is now 77%, up from 72%, which is good. More resilience equals less dying, which is good. Base resilience for players below level 90% remains at 40. Resilience diminishing returns curve for resilience has been adjusted for new base resilience value to maintain the same value per point of resilience as previously. Which I'm not sure, Blizzard, that was a quote directly from the patch notes. I'm not sure that is the best language in the world to use for that. But basically, what it means is it maintains the same value per point. So they've added resilience, but they haven't added more resilience because diminishing returns tapers it off. So they've changed something in order for it to not be changed, which seems typical Blizzard. I'm sure they know what they're doing. They run everything. Why not? Battle fatigue now reduces healing received while in PvP combat by 60%, up from 55%. So hopefully this is a change that will stop healers from just being able to heal themselves constantly. But it does make it harder to heal, to keep a group of people up. And when you're the only healer in the battleground, as I've been recently on my druid, you really feel the push. So this is more balancing that's come from RBGs, I think. This is what people are seeing in RBGs when you have a structured team that works together. As we all know, random pugs don't tend to work like that, so it could throw PvP into a worse shambles than it is already. Not exactly possible in my opinion, but there you go. Gladiator's Distinction, the set bonus for wearing 2 PvP trinkets, now grants 5,280 resilience, up from 2,600. So in order to combat the fact that a lot of people have not been running 2 PvP trinkets, that have been running PvE trinket because it's got better stats on it, they've added a butt ton. They've basically over doubled the amount of resilience you get from having 2 of those to make it more attractive to people. Will it work? Oh, I don't know. Probably not, because damage is different from resilience. So, I mean, what are you doing, Blizzard? What are you doing? Battlegrounds and arenas. Arenas for the 2v2 arena bracket. Dampening is now applied to the match starting at the 5 minute mark, down from 10 minutes. For 3v3 and 5v5 arena brackets, there is no change. Dampening will continue to be applied at the 10-minute mark. Now, a lot of you are sitting there going, dampening? What the hell is dampening, Slag? You may remember in patch 5.4, they added a mechanic called the Crowds Chose You to arena gameplay. It was to keep it from dragging on too long and to make sure that there weren't as many draws. So what they did was they made it so that the team that had been on the lowest health got a stacking debuff, which made them easier to kill for the team that had been on the highest health. But this led to a really stupid thing where the highest rated 5v5 team in the world for a while were 5 Holy Priests, and they just bubbled and kept everyone's health topped up. So at the end of it, they got the Crowd Chose You buff on the opposite team, made them really easy to kill. They just waited it out. It took them forever, but they did it, and they did really well. I believe that was a bunch of Russians. So now, dampening is applied. It is a stacking debuff, which is applied to players every 10 seconds. Each stack of dampening reduces all healing and damage absorption by 1%. And then if neither team has won after 20 minutes, then it'll be a draw. But that's not what Blizzard want you to do. They don't want that. They don't want draws. They want classic winners. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So, what else have we got? And battleground changes. Alterac Valley. The following NPCs now have more health and deal more damage. Vandal Stormpark Stormpark. Yeah, he's the guy that stands behind Vandar Stormpike. He's a gardener. He's got a really nice garden. It's full of fruit trees. It's really nice. You should go visit. Vandar Stormpike, Belinda Stonehearth, Stormpike Defenders, Stormpike Bowmen, and all marshals have increased health and deal more damage. As well as on the Horde side, Captain Galvanar, Drekthar, Frostwolf Guardian, Frostwolf Bowman, and all War Masters. It's good. It is nice. I am pleased to see Blizzard finally paying Alterac Valley some freaking attention, because it needs it. That battleground was such a good thing. I spent literally days in Alterac Valley back in vanilla, and I still like it now, but we constantly lose because the map favours the Alliance better. Two battlegrounds that Alliance win like 50%, over 50% of the time, but win at, is Alterac Valley and Isle of Conquest. And I love Alterac Valley, and I'd like to see it come back in a big way, so I'm hoping that I want to summon Icy. I really want to summon Icy. Moving on, terrain outside of Frostwolf Keep has been modified to prevent players from jumping over the walls. This is just because we could do it and the Alliance can't do it, and yeah, so it's changed. It doesn't really affect too much. Moving on to items. The following items sold by Mistweaver Eye on the Timeless Isle have been raised to item level 489, up from item level 476. This change is retroactive to all items that have been purchased previously. So this is things like the Cloud Scorcher Greatstaff, the Contemplation of Shao Hao, all the weapons basically that you can get from these guys from Mistweaver Eye have been upgraded, and it's retroactive as well. So lastly, we move on to UI changes. There's only really one. Battle Tag or Real ID friends are now only able to send 10 chat messages every 10 seconds over battle.net chat. User interface add-ons should use the new send function and receive events to send communications information. So this has been added because of an add-on called OQ, which a lot of people have been using, which has been chucked off curse for breaking the Blizzard terms of service, and I will show you what it is. Basically, this send beer button here, you are not allowed, it's against terms of service to have this send beer thing and an add-on. So why have you got this add-on installed, Slack? Well, I heard about it and I installed it and I've been using it, and then I've only recently read that in the terms of service they've changed this. But what OQ does is it works on the in-game Blizzard system, so it uses your friends list on battle.net. Now, Blizzard aren't happy about OQ existing, and a lot of other people aren't either, so I think I'm going to be removing it as fairly quick snap. I just wanted to see what all the fuss was about. Yeah, okay, whatever. So OQ, you can use it to create pre-mades, you can use it to find pre-mades. It's a networking tool, so you can get groups together, and it works by sending out a hash over the blizzard.net chat thing, which you may have seen earlier. There were a lot of error messages down here in general saying that it couldn't do that. Basically, it spams it out over there, and I believe this new function that you can only send 10 chat messages every 10 seconds is to cut down all the traffic that add-ons like OQ were creating, but OQ specifically is getting a lot of attention at the moment for certain things. So I installed it, and that's what it's doing. It's not crippling the functionality of OQ. As you can see, it still works, still able to find things. The updates still go out, they're just all piling up a little bit at the moment, and you occasionally get messages down in chat saying the following message has been blah 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 blah. So this is Sergeant Slack from Banana Bun Productions saying thanks very much for joining me for the patch notes for 5.4.7 start of PvP season 15. Please do comment, like, subscribe if you did. Let me know if you like this new format instead of the regular boring one, and I will catch you next time. Ta-ra.